Hey, what's going on, everybody? Chris Meany here of FTN, taking a look at the Week 7 slate in the NFL over at PrizePicks.com. A simple over or under on a player's prop or their fantasy score. You don't even have to go 3 for 3. You can go 2 for 3 and win some cash, but 3 for 3, that's a pretty decent payout over at PrizePicks.com. Use that promo code FTN, a 100% first deposit match of up to $100. Already signed up, refer a friend, and it's $25 in your PP account. So I'm going to start here with what I think is the biggest edge. It's DAndre Swift. You see at 35.5 receiving yards, a number he has eclipsed in 5 of his 6. In the one game he didn't, he was at 33. So he's right there. But this is a number that will change pretty quickly, honestly. I'm surprised to see it at 35.5. In most spots, it's 44.5. I've seen as high as 47.5. Let's jump on this right now. So I wanted to lead with this. You know that Detroit is going to be playing from behind. They're 17-point underdogs here. Jared Goff's going to want to do his best to prove that the Rams made a mistake. He's going to want to try to keep pace with Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford. It's going to be really tough for him to do. He's going to avoid Jalen Ramsey. He's going to throw the football to DeAndre Swift and to TJ Hockenson, his best two guys on offense. And this is a really good spot. Honestly, the Rams have great corners. They've given up a lot to running backs, but mostly because they're up in games. For example, when they're up huge against Tampa, we saw Giovanni Bernard's best game of the season. He had 10 targets, 9 grabs, and 51 receiving yards. This is what's going to happen here with DeAndre Swift, but he's just been involved all year long. Gio is involved basically for only that game this season. Swift, as I mentioned, he's been right around this 35.5 mark all year long. He's passed it in 5 of 6. And the Rams have allowed 5.8 catches per game to running backs and 44 receiving yards per game to the position, both marks inside the top 10. So mostly because quarterbacks are afraid of those corners. They play kind of lockdown, and there's a lot of dink and dunk when you play the Rams and mostly playing catch up and some garbage time here. But I like this for DeAndre Swift. Let's get it now. And then TJ Hockenson at over 4.5 receptions. He looked much healthier last week, in a much better spot. 11 targets, 8 grabs, and 74 receiving yards. He's got 3 games with at least 8 catches this season. He's going to be a big part of this offense too, playing from behind. And then in the same game, don't think that the Rams are not going to have their way. Sean McVay is going to want to light up Jared Goff and company. Matthew Stafford's going to want up and light up his former team. I like him to go over 2.5 passing touchdowns, but I also like Darrell Henderson here over 80 rushing yards. He's been at 78, 82, and 89 over the past couple games. Another game with 70. He's just been a big part of the offense, even with Stafford and Kupp just getting theirs. There was a big game with Robert Woods. It doesn't really seem to matter that Darrell Henderson gets his, and he's right in around that 80-yard mark. So we could sweat it out, but I don't think we will. I think even if the Rams are up big, it's partly because they were just able to score a lot on offense, running the football, because you can run on Detroit as well. So 38 carries for Henderson in the last 2 weeks, and 21 in his last game, 21 carries. I had to double check that to see if it was right, but that's correct. He did have a big part of that, big part of the running game out of the backfield, even up so big against the Giants last week. And one more here on the way out. I do like Jamison Crowder over 4 receptions. Jets are fresh off a bye. Crowder's off the injury report. When this guy plays, he just gets a lot of usage, no matter the quarterback. Sam Darnold looked his way quite a bit when he was with the Jets, and Zach Wilson in 2 games has given him 15 targets and 11 grabs. So even against the Pats, who are pretty good against the pass, I think we can get to this 5 or 6 catch mark. You get 4, you get a push, kind of get a pass there, but I think he's going to be over that 4 catch mark. And then James Conner. James Conner just to score a touchdown. I think this is like I don't feel too great about this, but massive favorites against the Texans. They've allowed a lot to the running back position. Chase Edmonds is going to play, but he's not 100%. They get up big in this game, and then they just run the clock out with James Conner. He's had a couple goal line touchdowns. He's got at least 2 touchdowns in 2 of his past 3 games, rather. A lot of action over at FTNDaily.com. Even though there are 6 teams on bye and a lot of injuries, there are a lot of great edges over at PrizePicks.com. So let's take advantage of that. And you can by visiting FTNDaily.com, clicking that chat link up at the top, and it'll get you in our free PrizePicks Discord channel where there are lots of plays flying around, because for the first time in a long time, NHL, MLB, NFL, and NBA all happening at once. And like I said, you can mix and match across all the sports that you love over at PrizePicks.com. And we love them all. We really do. So good luck. Any questions, hit me up in this YouTube section or reach out at Chris Meany. We'll talk to you soon. Cheers.